what could only be arguably described as the busiest Friday I've had in a long while. We are finally getting on with things. Check-ins are now squared away. A couple of discovery calls later today, as well as that I've got to drop a parcel off at the post office because we have a winner for the t-shirt contest that I held in the comment section of one of my previous videos. So yeah, over the next few weeks, somebody is going to get a surprise parcel in the mail containing a Universal Performance t-shirt, but time to get the pre-workout meal sorted. Usual pre-workout meal. What else could it be? Accompanied by the Minukani, of course. We've got the new full bottle there in case that one runs out. So this is the backup bottle. This is the bottle we'll start with. Got the zinc carnosine, betaine HCl with pepsin, liver support. For whatever reason, don't know why, don't ask me why. I take liver support and heart and kidney support the same number of times throughout the month. They both contain the same number of servings, therefore I shouldn't run out of one before the other. But for whatever reason, somehow I have run out of heart and kidney support, so I'm waiting for the restock. I'm just flying solo with liver support for now. But yeah, taking all of those, I'll dive into this shortly. Check-ins are boxed off and squared away for the day, and I've already taken my noon supplements, so it is all ready to go. Yeah, solid day so far. I mean, it's been a productive one. Fridays are now busier than ever because Fridays were already a busy check-in day for me, but now that I've got more athletes getting closer to their shows, their check-in frequency is slowly progressively ramping up. So I've got a handful of athletes checking in twice a week now, which means they check in on their usual day. Well, actually they don't check in on the usual day. I've moved them from their usual check-in days. So they check in twice a week now on Tuesdays and Fridays. So it just means that Tuesdays and Fridays are just even more busy than they were before, which, I mean, they were already very busy check-in days for me, but it is what it is. And I do what I do because I love what I do, not because I have to. What's wrong, Charlie? Charlie wants to say hello to the camera. Say hello. Yeah, good boy. Yeah. No joke, you'll probably jump up on my lap shortly, so I'll make this quick. But yeah, torso session 2 for the week, DOS. I'll be doing that shortly, but I do have to drop by the post office and drop off a parcel to get delivered to the winner of the Universal Performance t-shirt, because I held a bit of a contest in the comments section of my birthday vlog upload, and I do have a winner. So they'll be receiving what will be the first official Universal Performance shirt other than the ones that I own and wear, because they're not even available for sale on my website yet. So that'll arrive at their house, their doorstep, some point over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, once I get home from the gym and the post office, it'll be time to dive into the remaining work for the day, which is just respond to a couple of coaching inquiries and then also shoot out a couple of emails that I need to get done, and that's work squared away for the day. Then it'll be time to relax, rest and recover. Are you jumping up? You jumping up, Charlie? Yeah, hey. I'll give you attention after I eat, okay? Anyway, better get into this pre-workout meal and give Charlie some attention before he dies of a lack of affection. I haven't given him affection for a solid 1 hour, so I'll have to get back to that. But yeah, here we have it, the first official Universal Performance t-shirt going out. Here we go, the 5th and final training session for the week. And consequently, that also means the 5th and final voiceover for the week. So before I continue, I just want to take a moment to say, look, if you are a avid viewer, if you are a subscriber, a loyal supporter, I appreciate you. I really do. And it means more than you realize. Now that that's out of the way, let's get on with the voiceover. So I haven't held a Q&A on my Instagram yet to collect questions for the voiceovers. So this one will just purely be a narration of the training session. And so let's fucking get on with it, shall we? Let's get on with it. What you're watching here is the neutral grip pull down, my sagittal biased pull for the session. So just 2 working sets here. Again, really focusing on maintaining a stacked torso. So keeping the ribs slightly down, keeping the pelvis as neutral as I can, and then just focusing on driving the elbows down toward the hips and the floor. And I believe I matched reps and load with the previous week's session, so I was happy with that. And then on to the frontal plane pull. So the frontal plane pull down here, the converging pull down machine made by NewTek. fantastic piece of equipment, and I am slowly widening my grip on this. So I'm not going to try progress the load or the reps per se. I'm just going to focus on matching reps and load for the next few weeks and slowly, progressively moving my grip out a little bit wider each week until I get it to the desired width. Just because it is a frontal pull, if you really want to get the most out of a frontal pull, especially if it converges, if it's a machine that converges like this one, then you want to take the widest possible grip that is comfortable for you. And that's going to allow you to get the maximum, I guess, utility out of the movement. Because in the frontal plane, the whole benefit is being able to start in that kind of wide stretch position and then keeping and remaining in that frontal plane and pulling down and in to your sides. So that's basically what I'm doing here, and it feels fantastic. It's definitely feeling a lot better, but you don't want to start super wide, especially if you don't have a lot of, I guess, stability at the shoulders, or if you just haven't trained that movement to be very wide before. Basically, you want to slowly work towards that and progress it over time. Same with any adjustments to any lifts, to be honest. If you're going to make changes to technique on a lift, do it gradually. Don't just go from 0 to 100. Like, don't just go from like a ultra narrow grip to a super wide grip, or vice versa, or from a fully pronated grip to a fully neutral grip. Try, I guess, incrementally do it if it is possible to incrementally do it, that is. And from there, after the frontal pull, it was into the chest supported T-bar row here with a pronated grip. Again, trying to go a little bit wider with this, just to bias a little bit more, I guess you could say, retraction and protraction in the movement. I really want to try keep the elbows a little bit more flared and just focus on targeting more of the upper back musculature with this and the traps. So that's the reasoning for the change in width on this one. And I managed to go up to 6.5 plates again, and it's feeling quite good. Now you might be questioning, is that a big enough range on this movement? Like, you can see that I'm not rowing the weight to the point to which the plates are coming up to the underside of the bench, and I would argue it's not necessary. When you're training the back, you've got to think about what actions the muscles in the back that you're targeting perform. Like, the back muscles have no bearing on what occurs at the elbow joint. The back is responsible for what occurs at the shoulder blades. So if you're getting maximum protraction and retraction, it doesn't fucking matter if the plates aren't coming all the way up and touching your chest or anything like that. That's just dogmatic bro science shit for the most part. Like, you can see that I'm getting full protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades or thereabouts with this movement. And so I would argue that that's more important, getting full protraction and retraction, and making sure that you're creating or actively trying to generate a counterforce into the pad as you row the weight. Like, think about driving the chest in the opposing direction to the direction in which you're rowing the weight. And if you do that, create those two opposing forces, those two opposing, two opposing forces. It's really the best way I can summarize it. And then if you're focusing on getting a fully protracted shoulder blade at the stretch and fully retracted at the contraction, then you're sweet, you're good. Then, as you can see here, going into the second and final chest supported rowing variation, but this one with more of a neutral grip and focusing a little bit more on a different kind of portion of fibers. But again, as you can see, my elbows could hypothetically bend more. I could hypothetically flex at the elbows more and extend at the shoulders more, but is that really going to provide much more of a benefit for the back? Not really. So I'd argue it's kind of pointless and redundant, to be fair. And then from that, it's into the rear delt flies. Just again, really focusing on just driving out to the sides. I'm not thinking so much about retracting the shoulder blades here, although some movement and action at the shoulder blades will still occur regardless how much you try, quote unquote, isolate the rear delts in this movement. But what I am focusing on doing is keeping a slight bias toward shoulder internal rotation, and then just basically flying out toward the opposing sides, the walls opposing either side of me. That's what I'm focusing on when I'm doing the reverse pec deck fly for the rear delts. So that's what I'm doing here. And yeah, just 2 working sets. I went a little bit higher in volume in this session than I normally do, I'll be honest. Some exercises in this session I did 2 working sets, whereas I normally only do 1 for them. And the reason for that is there's a significantly large chunk of time between my 2 torso sessions because I'm only doing 2 per week. So I figured, you know what? It had been quite a few days since I last hit back and redelts. I'm going to do a bit of extra volume. I mean, the first torso session I do is on Monday, and then the second and final one I do is on Friday. That's a pretty significant window of time between the 2 sessions, so I can justify going a little bit higher in volume. And from there, it was into the chest work after all that back training was out of the way. Starting things off as always, as usual with the pec deck flies, 2 working sets here with a full stack, plus 25 kilo of plates. So I've got a 5 kilo plate, and then I've got 2 10 kilo plates. The reason I stack them in that order and not the other way around is there's a guard that goes over the plates, as you can see there on the pec deck fly, on one side of the stack of plates. And if I try to put a 10 kilo plate on the pin, it's obstructed by that guard, and it can't actually go flush with the gym pin. And because of that fact, it's kind of, the plates will be positioned a little bit further away from the stack, and then it just kind of warps and bends and slides out as you do the set. So I do that to try to prevent the gym pin from falling out, basically. I stack them in the kind of like 5 kilo plate, 10 kilo plate order to do that. But yeah, 2 working sets of pec deck flies, matched reps and load with the previous session from the previous week, and then on to Incline Smith press here. First set, 130 kilo, got it for a nice comfortable 6 reps with 1 rep in reserve. And range of motion, I'd say, was a little bit bigger than what I typically do. I generally stop a little bit further away from my chest, but I was feeling fine, and it was kind of unintentional more than anything. But I did notice I was getting a little bit less chest stimulus when I went into that final bit of range. So I definitely felt this set a little bit more on my chest, just stopping that a little bit higher. And yeah, obviously second set here, 140 kilo, or I track it as 140 kilo at least. People in the comment section might be like, oh, the Smith press isn't 20 kilos. Like, you can't, shut the fuck up, I don't care. I track the Smith press. I track it like I would track a barbell press. It's just mentally easier for me. Same thing with hack squats. I track the hack squats as though the hack squat sled is 20 kilo. Whether it's 20 kilo, whether it's less than that or more, I really don't give a fuck. It's 20 kilos to me, in my opinion, just for the simplicity of tracking. So that's what I do. You can do whatever the fuck you want. There's no right or wrong. You can exclude the load of the empty Smith machine. You can exclude the load of the empty hack squat when you're tracking your lifts in your training, or you can make up some arbitrary value for it like I do. It really doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, it just simply doesn't matter. I can't iterate that enough. And then after the 2 sets of Incline Smith press, obviously 1 working set of dumbbell pullovers here, and they felt pretty good. My triceps are feeling pretty battered and beat up, or they were at least in this session. But I have some strategies that I'm implementing moving forward which should help out with that significantly. And then from there, it was into the neutral grip shoulder press, the hammer strength neutral grip shoulder press. Now I set the seat nice and low on this machine to really bias the front delts. It allows me to just kind of work more in that top end of the range of motion. And so I'm not really kind of getting that real bottom end of the range as much. I could lower the seat even more, to be honest, which I probably will do in the coming weeks. I'll just probably lower it 1 or 2 more notches, because I really just want to bias the front delts, the anterior deltoid fibers in the in that press. And then from that, it was moving on to the lateral raises. I've recently switched from the Watson standing lateral raise to this one, just because it's always taken and I'm sick of waiting for shit, whereas this one is generally free more often than not. So I've just swapped machines from the standing Watson lateral raise to the seated hammer strength lateral raise. Again, at the end of the day, a lateral raise machine is a lateral raise machine. Don't overthink it. Just do whatever fucking feels good, to be fair. It's pretty simple. It's as simple as that. Like, exercise selection does matter a lot, don't get me wrong. Anyone who says exercise selection doesn't matter doesn't know what they're talking about, or they just don't know what they're talking about, at least yet. But it's also over-emphasized sometimes. What I mean is, it does matter. Exercise selection definitely does matter, but people overplay the importance of it sometimes. But yeah, hopefully enjoyed that. That was the training session. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Peace out for now.